Good evening, everybody. How you doing? We are here. We are finally in the new studio, everybody. Finally. It's like I didn't know what it was going to take, but we found out what it's going to take. And it took a lot, let me just tell you. Everybody having a great week so far? Week starting off good? You know, I did really good yesterday, and then I woke up today with all of the sinus problems again. It's like, I don't know what in the world's going on. I need an ENT on speed dial. That's what I need. But anyway, I hope your week is going good. Welcome into the new studio. Tonight is just me. We don't have a guest tonight. So it will just be me, el numero uno. And we haven't gotten everything quite done yet, so it's like we're going to have multiple camera angles. We haven't gotten all of that set up yet because we're lacking one piece of gear. The Black Magic switcher has still not come in yet. So as soon as it comes in, then we will have that ready to go as well. So I know we're all looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it. We are going to have a guest next week. They will not be in studio, but it will be a kind of like a video conference call. And I'll tell you at the end of the show who that's going to be. I know that I'm really, really, really looking forward to having him on the show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting. I can tell you that for sure. But it's kind of cool, you know, getting used to all the new equipment and everything. I've been doing all the videos on the Rodecaster Pro. We are using the Rodecaster Pro tonight. So if you're wanting to know what it sounds like, this is what it sounds like. This is the Rodecaster Pro. I'm pumped about it. I really like it. There's a lot of settings and things like that it's like you can really get into deep. And it's just super cool. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. We'll kind of let everybody filter in and get in tonight. Chandler Jones, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here. Church Boy Media, hey, man, good to see you. It does make me wonder if the government my sinuses have gone to hell since the government shut down. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with it, but can we not blame it on the government? I would like to blame it on the government. Wrenched Out Experiment, super cool to see the new setup. I'm waiting on the Rodecaster Pro as well. You're going to love it, man. I can tell you, there is a little bit of a learning curve. I will give you that, because when you're used to coming from and using different gear, and then you're coming to this, it takes a little bit to get used to it, a little bit, but you're gonna love it. I can promise you that you're gonna love it. Chandler Church Boy Media says, can't wait to get the call, letting me know it's on the way. I spoke to my rep at Sweetwater just the other day, and they are expecting more of the Rodecaster Pros in at the end of the month. So if you've been waiting to get one, if you've already ordered it, I would imagine that yours is coming. You'll get yours in this batch at the end of the month. If you haven't ordered it and you want to order it, I would order it now to make sure that you got in for the next shipment, which is, like I said, it's coming at the end of the month. Zednex, I bought the Rodecaster Pro myself, but waiting for the Rode pod mics to reach the UK. Yeah, I got to tell you, I have not used an RE27, which is this mic right here. I've not used it in years, since I was in radio back in the late 80s and early 90s. I have been using the Shure SM7B for quite a while, and I love the microphone. I love the Shure SM7B. I will have to tell you, if you are used to the way that a certain microphone sounds and then you switch, I'm just throwing it out there to be prepared. Because the RE27 and the SM7B could not sound any more opposite than what they do. And so this has taken me a little bit to get used to. And it's like I have not even played around with some of the settings, which I need to do. Because, in all honesty, I don't have it set where I like it yet. I don't have it set anywhere near where I like it. And you would think I had all day today to do all this. If you guys could see the mess that this room is in, other than what you can see, it's absolutely astonishing. And I don't like messes. I don't like messes at all. I like nice, clean, tidy workspaces. And that is not what we've got going. I mean, I've got everything from tape laying over here. I've got extra mice laying over here. We've got HDMI cables over here. We've got the remote control for the Aperture light dome sitting over there. I mean, I've got Sennheiser wireless lav mics sitting over here. And more guitars that you can shake a stick at. Eventually I'm going to have, when we have all the other camera views, you'll be able to see everything. But I'm putting every guitar that I own, well, pretty much. Some of them stay in storage, but almost every guitar that I own is going to be up in this room. And I still have, the company is coming out to put the sound baffles in the ceiling because we still got a little bit of an echo in here. And I don't like that. As a music producer, I don't like that. So my other room is dead as a doornail, which is what this room will be. And so, yeah, we got that. The fact of the matter is that I managed, and I need to be honest with you guys. I told you last week, on last week's show, when we were supposed to debut the new studio, I told you that I worked on it all last Tuesday, and that is the truth. I didn't get it all done so that we could have it and debut it last week's show, so I thought, okay, well, that gives me an entire week. If I'm being completely honest, I waited until today. I've been really busy, and that's not an excuse, but I have been busy. But I waited till today to get everything just set up to the point where we could actually do this in the studio tonight. Yeah, I'm putting the tape out of them. I can't do that. But yeah, I still got some things to do. I need to tweak some settings on the microphone here. I have effectively learned my way more or less around the Rodecaster Pro. I've got it from a settings standpoint dialed in. Thank you very much. Yes, I know. I think I'm becoming the Rodecaster Pro guy. And I got to be honest with you, I have a real love-hate relationship with Rode, the company, as it is. And I've said on my show many times that my favorite microphone that I own, I've got a closet right over there that's got $20,000 worth of microphones in it. But my favorite microphone of all time is the original Rode Classic. But every time, and despite now I've done 2 or 3 videos on the Rodecaster Pro because I was one of the first to get it. And over all the years, all the multi-platinum albums that I've produced that I've given Rode credit on and talked about, and now doing the Rodecaster Pro reviews, and all the love that I've given Rode over the years, they've given me absolutely zero. Like none. And then I see a tweet today from John Prosser where they're going to start working and advertising on his show. And I thought, okay, I mean, I get it. No big deal. You know, I have one person at Rode that I like. They are in Australia, so it makes it very difficult to deal with them. They have a distributor in the United States that you can deal with, and I like them. But when it comes to dealing and talking directly with Rode, I'm not a super fan. I can tell you, but their products, I like their products a lot better than I like their people. Is that okay to say? And as long as they continue to make great products, they make great microphones. This Rodecaster Pro is absolutely awesome. It's amazing. If you're going to be doing a podcast or a live stream like this, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's really, 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 really good. And I think you'll really love it. And those of you that saw my update video, yeah, I ended up taking a lot of crap for stating the obvious to me, which was that it's a very powerful machine. It's great for live streaming and podcasting. I don't suffer the people very well that talk about the multi-track thing, because I mean, even as a producer, right, I do not approach anything with the attitude of we'll fix it in the mix, right? I produce to tape. I produce to Pro Tools. Yes, if there are mistakes and things can be manipulated in post, but I am a huge believer in real and raw. And so if I've got 3 people sitting around this table and we're doing a podcast, I want you to hear exactly what happened around that table. If somebody slipped up and said something they shouldn't have said, then that's on them, right? So I the multi-track thing, I just don't give a damn. I just don't care. I mean, I get it if you're doing something for like a news station or something like that, and you absolutely have to edit in post, and you can't have these things go out, and there's some mistakes. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. But for the most part, for what I'm going to use it for, which is this right here, it's absolutely perfect, and I have no druthers whatsoever about it. End of day says, the Michael Deacon program, I'm glad you got the 27. Yeah, man, I am too. Like I said, I still have got a lot of settings to mess with and get it right, because it's not exactly how I want it right now. This is flat. And I wanted to do tonight's show for a reason, because I wanted to have this way so that I would have something to compare it to. Right now, this is flat. I haven't messed with any of the high-pass, low-pass filters or any of the EQ-style settings that you can manipulate on the 27. This is flat. This is out of the box. Let's see. Wrenched Out Equipment says, I got it from Sweetwater and a whole new setup and told them it was thanks to your channel. Thanks for the video and the content. Man, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I was going to tell you before, those of you that do want one, call and talk to Carson McLean. That is my rep at Sweetwater. And then now I'm also dealing with Sweetwater as a sponsor on the show. Many of you may know they sponsored the original Rodecaster Pro video, which was really cool of them, and we were able to give away $150 in gift cards from Sweetwater. That was really awesome of them. I have dealt with Sweetwater for a long, long, long time, and I'll tell you, throughout my 25 years in the music business, I've racked up endorsements with just about every company that you can think of. But there are times that I will choose to go and buy something at Sweetwater versus get an equivalent piece of gear through an endorsement that I have, just because I specifically want this other thing. And I may not have a relationship with them. And when I do, 9 times out of 10, I'm calling Carson at Sweetwater. And they always have great customer service. If I ever have a problem, which I've never had a problem with Sweetwater, come to think of it. If I ever did have a problem, I could call Carson, and he would take care of it right away. When I called it the first day, which has been 2 months ago now, that I saw about the Rodecaster Pro, I knew there again, going back, I wasn't going to get anywhere calling Rode. It wasn't going to happen. We just don't see eye to eye, I guess. I'm going to stop giving them shout-outs, though. I can tell you that. They make a hell of a product, but anyway, I digress. I called Carson, and I said, look, he didn't even know about it. Okay, he had no idea. He had no idea what I was talking about. I had to forward him the link from Rode for him to see what it was, and he goes, I'll dig into it. And I said, just make sure that I'm the first person that has one when Sweetwater gets it. And he said, no problem. And they got them in on a Wednesday. He overnighted it to me so that I could have it Thursday morning before they shipped them out to anybody else. And they'll do that for anybody. They're just a good company, good, solid company. And I love doing business with them. So I appreciated them sponsoring the video and staying on top. I've got another one coming as well. So for those of you waiting on your shipment, I'm waiting too. I've ordered another one. Let's see. I have the Shure SM7 mic. What's your opinion on how it handles the Rodecaster? I don't own a cloud lifter. I don't own a cloud lifter either. I have not plugged the Shure SM7B into this yet. I have not done that. I will, since you asked the question. I will. Maybe I'll bring it in on next week's show, and we'll shoot it out. We'll test it and see what it sounds like. I can tell you it's going to sound really awesome. I can tell you that the way this one is sounding right now is bugging the shit out of me. Just being completely honest, because I haven't set it, and it's out of the box, and I don't generally do anything straight out of the box. So right now, this is kind of bugging me. I would just mess with it right here on the fly, but I can't get it. You got to have you can't do it with your fingernails, so we'll just leave it the way that it is. The RE27 flat is good. I prefer the first high-pass filter engaged reset to flat. Complements my voice very well. Definitely give it a try. Yeah, I will. I'm anxious to try out. I'm anxious. There's one. See, that's a little weird. I was not planning on trying all this out during the live stream. Do y'all mind? How is that? No, that is horrible. That's a little better. How is that? No, I don't like that either. All right, we'll try that for a little bit. I like that a little bit better. Just a little bit better. But then you've also got, I like that a lot better. This to me sounds better than it sounded before. Does this sound different to you guys than it sounded before? I'd be interested to know. But I did want to tell you guys, everybody that's here because of the Rodecaster Pro, these hot buttons are really cool. Seriously, in all honesty, these hot buttons are really cool. They come preloaded with several sound effects, and I'll run through some of them for you. So check this out. Oh, yeah. The old generic podcast music. Of course, everybody needs a laugh section. So there's your laugh section. Your applause. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I will probably be using that one quite a bit because I have a tendency to screw up. Nice little rim shot. Somewhere in the deep dark of the night, in the woods off the coast of West Virginia. Crickets. See, I could have used the crickets thing when I was messing with the microphone. Love that one. Love that one. But each one of these, there are 2, 4, 6, there are 8 of them, and they are fully customizable, so you can put whatever you want on them. This is what comes out of the box. I wanted to use this thing tonight straight out of the box, and I wanted to do it for a reason because I felt like that would give me the best understanding of what it's capable of straight out of the box. Now, I did mess with some of the effects settings on the microphone. I did do that because I was anxious to see what it sounded like. And I'm pleased with it. I have to say I am really, really pleased with it. The thing I'm having a hard time with tonight by far is the difference of the sound of the microphone. I'm not going to lie. I'm having a hard time with this. I'm having a real hard time with it. It's just so different. It is so different than what I'm used to. On the Sweetwater note, that was my first experience, and I have dealt with a lot of companies, and damn, those guys are incredible. Called me and went over the order and also told me about the delay. Awesome. Good. That's good to hear. You think I sound better now? Okay, awesome. Of course, I think a lot of it, too, is whatever this is sinus-wise that's going on. I mean, I literally cannot breathe out of my nose, and I've had a migraine since 8 o'clock this morning. So I was this close to just sending out a message and saying we are not having the show tonight, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Not for your benefit, but for mine. I spent way too much time in here today trying to get this where we could rock and roll tonight. So, but yeah. I'm anxious to get everything finished, and I've got to dedicate the time to actually getting it finished because I've got a whole other monitor over here. I haven't even hooked it up yet. I bought the two LG 34-inch ultra-wide monitors. Really cool because I've got plenty of space for OBS and chat windows and browsers and all that kind of stuff over here, and then I'll have the rest of everything over there. And it's, I think it's going to work out. It's going to work out really, really, really well. Yeah, I agree with you. A few adjustments, it's not going to take much. I can tell you that. It's not going to take much. I'm also, as odd as this sounds, because we are creatures of habit, every single one of us. And I'm not at all used to this desk stand thing. It's like it is right in the way. I want to do this, and it makes it very difficult to do that. I'm so used to the arm, you don't have to think about it. So I think, what, more than anything, I think it's just getting adjusted. I think it's just getting adjusted to, a new setting, a new scene, and all new equipment. I mean, because everything in here is different than what's in the other room. Everything. There's not one piece of equipment that came from in here. Everything in here is brand new, and it's completely different than what's in the other setup. So even the camera, we're using the Sony A7 IIIs in here. I love that camera. I am a camera nut, and I have a lot of them. I have almost all the cameras that Sony makes, and I have to say, the A7 III is by far probably one of my most favorite cameras I've ever bought. So for those of you that are thinking about live streaming, doing what we're doing now, or doing your podcast and via video as well, I cannot recommend to you highly enough the Sony A7 III. It's a great camera. The only thing that would make it better is if it did 4K 60 frames a second. Because in like right now, we're doing 1080p at 60. What would be awesome is 4K 60. And they're saying that the A7S Mark III will probably be 4K 60. Waiting on an announcement on that one. Mike W. says the EV is much more articulate than the SM7. Your video quality this evening is great. Lighting looks great, too. Thanks, man, very much. Yeah, what we've got going on, it's almost embarrassing to say, but back here, these lights, these LED floodlights, you can change the colors on them. They are 100-watt LED lights that I bought on Amazon. And I got them in. I was very pleased with them. Very, very pleased. The main light that we're using up there is the Aperture 120D with the large light dome diffuser on it. I love that thing. Although I have to say, I'm going to have to call them. I'm having issues with the remote control. The remote control's not working. And I just put a brand new battery in it the other day. But I absolutely love that light. The settings on the camera, somebody tweeted me about the settings on the camera. It's no picture profile. When I'm doing like my vlogs and things like that, I shoot an S-Log 3 and then convert it to Rec 709 in post. But like right now, what you're seeing out of the camera is it's pure 1080p, 60 frames a second with no color profile, no other settings whatsoever. So just dry, coming straight out of the A7 III via HDMI into the Elgato 4K 60 Pro. internal 4K video capture card in the computer. That's what you're seeing. So, you know, set up questions. You guys got questions. I got answers. Isn't that a commercial for somebody? Can you chat with someone via the TRRS or Bluetooth channel while music is streaming live and not be heard on the stream? The answer to that question is yes. The technical side of it would require me to do a little bit more investigation, but I can tell you that when I was messing around with it today, that is possible because of the mix minus being built in, and like I've got it routed completely different. And one of the things that makes this more difficult than anything is knowing how to set up all of your audio both in your computer, but also how you route it in and out of the Rodecaster Pro or whatever other mixer or source that you're going to use. And then having all of that inside OBS, all of your settings match in OBS. See, like I could run this two-way with just one way via USB, but I chose not to do it that way specifically for the reason that you're asking. And that is I came out of the audio out on the sound card into the TRS here on the Rodecaster Pro. But then I've got the output on my computer selected to use the Rodecaster Pro. So if I were to show a video right now, I would use the USB pod here on the Rodecaster Pro. If I were to take a phone call or anything like that, I would use the TRS. So yes, you can do that. Bluetooth, same thing. Bluetooth is a little different because when you engage the Bluetooth and you connect a Bluetooth device to the Rodecaster Pro, whatever audio is coming out of that source is coming through that channel. So you couldn't do it with the Bluetooth. And the kind of the other thing that you're thinking of is almost like a traditional broadcast console where you had an audition channel, you know, where you could turn it up and there was on air and then there was audition. So you could click one button and you could listen to the source without it going out over the air, and then you'd hit the on air button and it goes out over the air. It does not have that. In order to do that in audition, you have to be really tricky in how you're routing things in and out. But you wouldn't be able to do it via Bluetooth. When you've got this Bluetooth connected to whatever Bluetooth device, whatever audio is coming out of that Bluetooth is coming out and over that channel unless you mute that channel. Because when that pots up, it's coming. It's full send. I hope that answers your question. Do you have someone you can call so we can hear the call? Well, I'll tell you what. One of you guys call me. I do not have all of my scenes and everything set up yet within OBS. I did not get to all of that today. I have the one with the phone number where I can push it up and it'll scroll across the bottom. I don't have that set up yet, but I will give it out to you. It's toll free, 877-337-8737. That's basically 1-877-337-TSFP for the Steve Freeman podcast. Again, 877-337-8737. If somebody wants to call, call me, and we'll see, you know, everybody else can hear. Of course, it probably wouldn't be a good idea for the person that wants to hear what it sounds like to be the one to call, because then you'd be hearing the phone. You wouldn't be, you follow. But yeah, if somebody wants to give us a phone call, give us a phone call. And well, you can hear what it sounds like. It sounds great. I had my wife call it earlier, and she said it sounded phenomenal. So I'm hoping that's the case. Again, that phone number, if everybody's reaching for their phone, 877-337-8737. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. I can type it in right here. Boom. There you go. So if anybody wants to give us a shout, we can do that. People are funny about phone calls. You know, we got the whole 877 number, and it's like people don't want to call. And I don't know if I don't bite generally. I mean, if you say something to piss me off, I probably would, but that has not yet happened. Chandler, if you're still watching, give me a call. If you're still in here. And we'll see how it sounds. I've got it pulled up, and we can take a phone call, so it's there. If it rings, I'll answer it. How's that? Fair? Anybody else have any more questions or comments? I kind of wanted to just, this is not a typical podcast. I just kind of wanted to lay low and take it a little easy tonight and maybe answer you guys' questions and maybe kind of go from there. And more than anything, just kind of test this out because this is it's one of those things where you hype it and you hype it and you hype it, even in your own mind, and then it's like, okay, is it going to work? I mean, I've got power to everything. You're going to turn it on. Is it going to work? Well, it's good to know that it's working. I'm super interested in how it comes out as I will be using it for my podcast and my co-host will be on it. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you. I'm happy with it. I'm very, very happy with it. It makes it very easy to have access to, to other things. And so it's, I mean, I'm not using the onboard record feature. But I'm sure that it would be fine. It's a 24, 48-bit recording, so it's going to sound good. I mean, you're not going to have a problem with how it sounds. The audio quality is going to be great. And with the rest of the functionality, I mean, it's going to be great too. I don't know if I'm going to put monitors in here yet or not, so I don't know if I'll use the main, although I could take the main and, send it somewhere else if I wanted, which is, it's nice to have that option. But, you got 4 mic pre's here. I mean, there was a guy, somebody left a comment on one of the videos about, needing more channels, and it's like, wow. I don't know of a podcast. I mean, every radio station that I ever went into, very rarely did we ever have 4. I mean, we had 1. So most of them had 2, but 3 was even like, oh my God, y'all have got, this has 4. I don't. He was saying something about doing something with candidates, and so but I still don't understand. I mean, I guess if what you're talking about, if you had, if you're the Republican Party and you've got 28,000 people running, then you'd need 28,000 inputs. So, I mean, I guess I get that. But, 99% of the time, you only need the, 2, 3, 4. And I still think they're going to come out with a bigger unit. Are you using an app or a straight phone call? We are using Grasshopper. It's a VoIP system. I found it to be better than, from an audio standpoint, better than like Skype. And we were able to get the toll-free number that we wanted through them. So that was the main reason that I went with them. I just constantly had reliability issues with Skype. I don't know why, but I just did. So I did a lot of research, and Grasshopper came very highly recommended. So can you give us a test call on Bluetooth channel? Hold on. Let's see. Who could we call and scare the absolute crap out of live? Let me see. I think I disconnected it earlier. Let me see if I can. I'm going to reconnect it. See, I'm doing this. Okay, and it connected just like that. Okay, so, hey, Rick Murphy, how's it going, brother? I'll tell you one thing. Let's just do this. Let me think of who I can call that's absolutely not going to freak out that I've called them live on the air. Let me go into. We'll try it out as a source first. And we will play a little bit of an album that came out last week that I produced. Let's see. And got to. Okay, but I've got to make it. Okay, I forgot what I did earlier. Because it should be feeding the Bluetooth channel in there, and I had it doing that. Oh, it's because, well, duh. My phone is connected to like 73 things via Bluetooth right now. I think that was the problem. Let's see. Yeah, now it says we're connected. This is playing through Bluetooth. In that ground. Sounds pretty damn good, doesn't it? If I didn't know better, I'd say at least 1 mile down. So this audio is playing directly from my phone via Bluetooth. There's a freight train coming, we're rumbling from the sound of a vinyl tree. It seemed to me just reach farther, and the ground seemed like nothing's gonna shake you. Tell me, how do you stand your ground? Yeah, I hope to be just like you. All right, so that is playing a source directly. Let me see here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll call Jay. Jay, if you're watching, Jay, I'm better yet, Jay, call me. Call me. Jay, you're going to help me do two things. Call me on my cell, and we'll try that, and then I'm going to get you to call me on the toll-free number. And we'll see how that works. The sound from the, Bluetooth connect as far as from a source, the music sounds phenomenal. I don't know how it sounds out there on your end, but it sounds great. It sounds great coming through here. I wonder if there we go. All right, let's see here. Audio. No, we're going through the Rodecaster Pro. Jay?
Yes.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Everybody say hi to Jay Buchanan.
Hello, everybody.
All right, Jay, we are trying out the new Rodecaster Pro. I know you're watching. Are you on the road or are you watching? What are you doing?
No, I'm watching. Yeah,
okay.
I'm sitting here watching on YouTube.
Okay. How's everything sounding so far?
It sounds really good. And, yes, your lighting and the picture quality, it's really nice.
Well, good. Thank you, man.
I do hear a difference in your microphone, but it's not bad. It's just different. But when you made the switch, it was more crisp.
Yeah, this sounds better to me. I could get used to this. The other way, I don't know. I couldn't do it.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't know if you was going to do your show tonight or not. I thought you may be still mourning from the Cowboys game, like I am.
I'm so upset about the Cowboys. I am so conflicted because what y'all can't see is that I've got Dallas Cowboy jerseys all along that. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan.
I have been ever since I was just a little boy.
I am stuck right now because I really like Jason Garrett as a person, but I think he's got to go. I just don't think I think, you know who I'm going to throw a name out here, and some of you may remember. They used to say this about Houston Nutt, was the coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks before Ole Miss. And people used to say about Houston Nutt that he was a great players coach, great motivator, but not a very good football coach. Yeah. And that's what I think Dallas is dealing with right now. I think Jason Garrett is a hell of a person. I think he should be involved with the Cowboys organization, maybe as, well, we're never going to have another general manager as long as Jerry Jones is alive, but in some capacity. But I think we need a good old football coach.
Yeah. Cowboys, they need another Tom Landry because he was a great coach and the players loved him.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think we got to have somebody. We've got to have a numbers guy. And look how well Sean McVay's done in LA. I mean, and Freddie Kitchens in Cleveland, he just got the head coaching job. I mean, the Cowboys need it. We've got the talent. Everybody wants to bash on Dak. Dak's a great quarterback. Look what happened when you went out and got him a tier 1 receiver. Things got better. So Amari Cooper is a great receiver, but he can only catch the ball if it's thrown to him. So my problem's not with Dak. We've got a great running back, but I think we got to have somebody better calling the plays. That's my opinion. That's the Cowboys for me in a nutshell.
So as far as the who do you think is going to the Super Bowl? I think it'll be Kansas City. I think if Kansas City goes, if they make it, I think they'll win it.
Yeah, I think it's Kansas City's year. I think Andy Reid has finally paid enough dues, and I think it's Kansas City's year. I was not expecting the Patriots to jump up and have the week that they had. My God Almighty, that really kind of shocked me. I thought they would win, but I didn't know that they would blow the Chargers out. But so we'll see. I do. I think it's the Chiefs' year. I do. I think New Orleans is going to be tough to beat, but I think it's Kansas City's year. I really do.
Yeah. So I read your Instagram post and said that you were going to talk a lot about social media for artists. So I've got a question for you, and then I'm going to have to.
Are you don't say I'll hang up and listen.
Okay, I won't say it.
All right. What's your question?
Okay, so I see a lot of artists that every social media out there, they put up their videos, and some of them are really great singers. They're good songwriters. Why should 99% of the content that they post be covers? They hardly ever push their own stuff. I just don't get it.
Well,
do you think that's helping them in any way?
That's a yes and no. And I'll expand this too. This can go. It's music business. It's business in general. Mm-hmm. But as to your question, it's both yes and no. Yes, it can. It has the potential to help them. The problem that most of them are doing is they are out here doing cover songs of songs that 300 million other people are doing cover songs of. Right. So if you're not able, if you're a unique artist and you're an independent artist and you aren't able to stand out on your own, I don't understand what these artists are thinking by thinking that they're going to stand out by doing what everybody else is doing. That's the philosophy that I don't get. And I think I told somebody last week, if you want to take that philosophy, go pick old songs that everybody loves, right? Go pick and turn it. And don't just redo it. You've got to make it your own. Be original. Do something original. If you want to do current music and stand out, and you want to do it through doing cover songs, because that is an effective way, right? It's you know, you're not asking somebody to accept the entire package at the same time. When you do a cover song, you're delivering something that people already have established that they like. Right? As a new artist, you're already asking them to overcome so much. They have to like you. They have to like your song. They have to like your look. They have to like your video. They have to completely buy into you as something they are unfamiliar with. So if you're doing a cover song, then you're kind of, you're sneaking in under the guise of doing a song that everybody already likes, or that most people already like. What I think people should be doing, if you want to do current music, is stop doing cover songs that are in the top 20. It's saturated. You're not going to stand out. Look on the Billboard chart and go down to number 75 that's got a bullet. Do a cover of that song so that when it's in the top 20 or the top 10, yours is going to be the first one that was out there, and it's going to get all the attention because that's how the algorithms on social media work.
Right.
That is my advice. So I'm all for them doing cover videos, but you got to do the right ones, and you've got to do them in a way that makes you stand out.
Well, I'm always, I'm always looking for talent and, trying to, find the next best thing. And what I see a lot of is, like someone would do a cover song, a young artist, they could sound really good and have a good presence about them and look good on the screen. And they do a song that really is not a happy song, not a happy lyric, and they emote the wrong emotion. They're singing a sad lyric, and they look like they're smiling from ear to ear. It's like, I don't know. It disconnects from the lyric from the emotion.
Well, very rarely, very, very rarely do you run into that artist that has the natural ability anymore. In one way or another, they are all manufactured.
It's like some of them are just trying to, no matter what they sing, their main objective is they're just trying to look cute.
Well,
it's like they're trying to.
Look, I'll say it before, and I'm going to pin this strictly on female artists. I look, we all know and we all understand. We live in this. Oh, this is Jay. You're going to get me in trouble, but that's all right.
Hey, this is what this show's about, man. Right?
Right. We'll go down this road. Okay.
Okay.
Here's where we are, and you're talking about female artists. I know you are, and but male artists do it too. But in the time that we live in, see, I have a hard time buying into all of this hashtag Me Too and the Me Too movement. Whenever I log on to Instagram and the number one hashtag, the number one post for the hashtag songwriter is a picture of a chick with her tits and her ass hanging out.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Or you go to independent. I dare you, do it right now. Pick up Instagram and search the hashtag songwriter, singer-songwriter, artist, independent artist, anything that has to do with music. And I guarantee you, if it's not the first picture, it's going to be in the top 5 and probably 3 out of 5 of some chick trying to use her body to sell her music.
Yeah.
And then we're told, oh, but we're, so that's where I get confused. And it's very, very, we all know sex sells. We get it. That but if it weren't for guys, sex wouldn't sell. So, look,
I just see a lot of new art. I see more female artists just on all the social media. I see them putting themselves out there, putting their music out there more than I do males.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just tons of female artists that
Well,
are.
because there is, and it be there again. It's the truth, so I'm going to say it, because they have an easier time getting eyeballs than male artists do.
Yeah, that's true. That's just
They've
true.
got assets that male artists don't have. And that's my whole issue. That's my whole problem with it. If you want to use that to your benefit, look, we live in a capitalistic society, and I am all for it. Use whatever it is that you feel like you need to use to get the attention on you, because if you're not signed to a major label and they aren't spending $45,000 to $50,000 a month directly on you to promote you out into social media, then you've got to use what you've got. And I get it, but you can't come back to me 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years down the road and talk about, I don't like the way men look at me. I don't like the way men treat me. I don't. If you're going to, look, I'm going to say this. If you're going to treat yourself and act like a piece of meat, you're going to get tossed on the barbecue.
Yeah.
That's just the way that it is.
It is. It's true.
And I'll tell you, I blame, where I really start to blame is I start to blame mainstream media and the pop culture artists, both country music and pop and R&B. It's like none of these poor girls have any shame whatsoever. And I'll tell you the sad part about this. And look, this is directly correlated, and it's directly related to each other. The worse the songs and the music and the production have gotten, the less clothes female artists wear. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
We didn't have to, Patsy Cline didn't have to take her clothes off.
No.
I mean,
you didn't even have to see her.
No. I mean, and you can even move into modern times. Stevie Nicks, did she wear sometimes some suggestive stuff? Sure, but that's the rock and roll lifestyle, right? Janis Joplin.
But even then, she didn't. Very, very seldom. You know, her dresses were long, and she just looked cool. You know,
Celine Dion, Whitney Houston. You can go down the row. The worse the songs have gotten, and the more we have dumbed down the end user, the consumer, two things have happened. The demographic has gone down, and more clothes come off. And now we've got all these 10 to 13-year-old girls wanting to act like 22 to 25-year-old pop artists who are dressing and acting like they're 11.
Yeah. And sometimes, we see them now before we hear them.
Well, and
that's our first impression is visual.
Well, nobody buys music because the music's great anymore. We buy music because of the marketing. People buy music because they're told to. You're exactly right. Music is, and this is where independent artists don't get it, or even independent business owners don't get it. It is not about the product you're selling. In music, it's not about music. You're buying the hype, right? The music is just one product of the brand. You're buying the brand, and that's okay. But you got to remember, it's like I find these people funny that won't shop at Home Depot because they support gay, lesbian, LGBTQ. I'm sure I'm leaving out a vowel somewhere. But they won't shop at Home Depot because they support LGBTQ communities and things like that. So they pass that, and then they go over to Walmart. Walmart supports LGBT. They support, every business has to support every minority out there, or you're going to be on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. So it's that kind of a thing. When you buy into a brand, you've got to accept everything that brand stands for. And when you buy the brand, you're buying the products of the brand. Music right now is just a product. Taylor Swift sells 10 times more T-shirts than she sells records. Fact. Taylor Swift sells 10 times more of anything than she does music.
I encourage, anyone listening and whoever hears this later, if you're only listening to the music that's on mainstream, you're missing out big time.
Well,
I
and
mean, there's
that
so much good music out there that's not on major labels, that's not on, your big uh, major radio stations. That it's awesome. I mean, and you don't have enough time to find it all. There's so much.
no. Well, here's the other thing too is I get on and I stopped getting on Facebook for a long time, and I don't do Facebook probably as well as I should. But I got off of Facebook pretty much for that one of those reasons, because I see constantly people posting about, how horrible mainstream music is, and especially country, and it's gone down the hill, and where's Alan Jackson, and where's George Strait and Clint Black, and
Mm-hmm.
I look at that and I say, where are they? People quit buying their music. That's where they are.
Yeah.
They're not gone anywhere. They're still around. Just nobody has any interest in them.
Yeah, I mean, if people were buying their music and they were going to the shows, they'd still be doing it.
Look,
They'd still be putting out new records and still be touring.
the music business, above any other form of business out there, is no more immune than anything else to the rule of supply and demand. If there is a demand, record labels will put it out. I did a whole video on this about female artists as well. I get real sick and tired of hearing female artists talk about how unfair things are. And there's more male artists than female artists. Well, guess what? Women do not support other women. Women
True.
support male artists. Women do not support other female artists, mainly because they feel threatened by them.
Yeah.
And so they don't buy their records. They don't buy their concert tickets. And there again, that is demographical. That cannot be applied to artists like Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande and BB Rexa and all those, that their fan base is 10 years old to 17 years old.
Right.
I'm talking about, why Martina McBride can't sell a concert out without going on tour with a male artist, because females typically do not support other female artists. They don't buy their music, they don't buy their merch, they don't buy their concert tickets. In a large majority. Sure, they do. But that, if I can guarantee you, I said it in that video, that if there were a demand for more female artists, the labels would be signing them. There's not a demand.
Right.
We can't sit around and blame the label for not wanting to go broke and signing things and putting music out that nobody's interested in.
Yeah. I'm not so sure about country music, but I do know up until a few years ago that the music that I was listening to, the rock music that I was listening to back in the 80s and 90s, they still do really good when they go to Japan and overseas, and they still draw big crowds. I don't know about the country music.
Well,
I don't know if they do that or not.
They do. It's much the same.
Mm-hmm.
We in America, we have done to music exactly what we do to everything else. We have devalued it to a point that we don't appreciate it anymore. When you will walk into a Starbucks and pay $5 for a cup of coffee that's going to last the next 30 minutes, but you will not get on iTunes and spend 99 cents or $1.29 for a song that cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to put in front of you, that you will own forever.
That someone put their blood, sweat, and tears into.
Absolutely. We don't do it.
And you can get it for 99 cents or $1.29, and it's yours for as long as you want it.
When you step outside of the United States, you will find that people appreciate music still. They value the content, they value the work behind it, they value the blood, sweat, and tears of the artist. They show up, you can be a completely unknown artist in the United States and go play a show overseas and it sells out.
Our attention span is so short. It's like, everything is, thank you very next.
It is. We're in a what's next generation. It's music is now a lost leader to the bigger brand of the artist. And, that bigger brand is, watch me on Dancing with the Stars, or I've got a book coming out, or I'm in this new movie, or I've got this product or this product. It's nothing more than a loss leader. It's to get you in the door. And once they've got you in the door, then you're hooked. And it becomes music more than anything, more than even from a business standpoint, people don't understand. You've allowed music to become a subscription service, because once you subscribe to it, you're always there. But they're not trying to get you. They don't want you for the $9 a month, right? They want you to pay the $9 a month so that they can be in front of you all the time. And when they're in front of you all the time, then they can sell you anything they want.
Sure.
Man, any more questions?
Well, no, I do actually have to jump off here and go get my little girl from cheer practice. So,
all right, man. Sounds good. Thanks for the phone call, brother.
All right, man. Later.
Talk soon. I could go on and on and on about that. Let me see. I see some of you guys have some comments. What impact do you think Article 13 in the EU will have on digital and social media content if enacted? To be truthful, I've got to sit down and read that a little bit more, a little bit closer. Everything that's involved in what's going on over there right now, I don't know what the future is going to look like if all of that ends up going through. I know that, it's like what we recently did here with passing the Music Modernization Act. It looks good, right? It sounds good, means very little in dollars and cents. And look, I'm just not one of these posturing people. I don't care what the legislation looks like or how it looks for this person or that person or anybody else. I care about the amount of the paycheck that hits my mailbox every quarter. And it's not going to increase significantly. So with Article 13 in Europe, I don't know. I've got to read more on it. And I will do that, and I'll maybe come back and circle back and either do a video on that, or we'll talk about it one night here on the podcast for sure, Mike. I appreciate the question. The overall entertainment business is changing as a whole. Looks at Netflix or Disney, Marvel, look at those subscription services. Absolutely. Subscription service is the way to go. I mean, look, I'm a business person, so I understand the value of that. I understand the value of somebody making a commitment, but I'm also a horrible consumer because I realized something the other day, and I don't know how many of you may have come to this realization or even thought about this, but I sat down and I figured up the other day, okay, here in the house I think we've got 6 or 7. We're with DirecTV. I'm not plugging DirecTV. The only reason I have DirecTV is because they have NFL Sunday Ticket. That's it. I think we've got 7 DVR receivers in this house, all hooked up to DirecTV. We have the package that gives us every TV channel that they offer. Then, the added sports thing and the NFL Sunday Ticket, we've got it all. Then we pay for Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Is there another one? Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. I pay for YouTube Premium. I pay for Spotify Premium. There are several other, I'm almost positive, but if not, that's enough. So our DirecTV bill's like $300 a month. And then you've got Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Then I'm sitting downstairs and I see a commercial for AT&T phone service, cell phone service. I'm with AT&T. They're like, did you know that if you're an AT&T customer, you get HBO, blah, 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 and for free? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute. And I did. For an hour, I sat down and looked at the numbers. I'm paying for HBO like 5 times. But see, that's what this whole subscription thing is getting into, is getting you into a mode where it's more of an instantaneous source of satisfaction, to where You got to have it, so I'm going to sign up for it, and it's a subscription, and done, and boom, and then you forget about it, and you've done exactly what they want you to do. They want you to sign up, subscribe, and then forget that you did. It's unreal. Wrenched Out Experiment says the on-demand customers with unlimited access. Look, that's the way things are going to go. I mean, you look at now. Look at what Patreon is doing, and even YouTube. I mean, I don't think that I would ever move to a Patreon type subscription service. I mean, right here in YouTube, if you want to tip or whatever, you can do all that with a super chat. When I game and I stream on there, you get donations and tips, and I think people, number one, I think we've lost the ability to even allow people just to be good people anymore. It's almost like we've put up a toll booth between good people and other people. And it's like, okay, if you want, then you got to pay for it. I'm from the old school. I'm from the old school that is like, if what I'm doing is a value, that's all going to work itself out one way or the other. I've had so many people, but last year when I decided to start the YouTube channel, I had so many business people that I respect come to me and say it's the worst thing that you could do. Do not give away your knowledge. You've spent 30, 35 years in the entertainment business. Do not give this away for free. And, start a Patreon. Start where it's a paid thing. We're taking the show on Apple TV and Roku devices here in a couple months. And the people they're setting all that up is, okay, we can make a paid gateway to where people have to pay whatever it is that you want to be able to watch it on Apple TV and Roku. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I just feel that it all comes back around. I think that when you offer someone value, that works its way back in and around to benefit you personally and financially. I don't believe in giving away the farm because, with our artist development company, they pay us a lot of money to do what we do. We're worth it. So it's like, I don't want to, I'm not developing any artists on YouTube, but, telling you guys what I've learned and some of the secrets and some of the tips and some of the tricks. To me, this is just me helping you the way other people helped me in things along the way. That's how I look at it. But look, the subscription service is the way that's going to go. YouTube has one now where you can join the channel. And I think it's, I don't know, it's $5.99 a month or whatever. Twitch has the same thing. But I also see from a consumer standpoint, because I'm a consumer as well, if the content or whatever it is that I'm subscribing to if it's truly valuable to me, then I don't mind subscribing. I don't mind paying for it. But I think those of you that are like me, which is probably a majority of you watching, that's just the way we were raised. You if you value something, you pay for it. If it continues to be a value, then you continue to pay for it. If it's not valuable to you anymore and it's irrelevant to you, then you stop paying for it. I mean, it's that simple to me. It is. It's just that simple. A lot of reason country went to more of pop sound with snap tracks is it will be bigger seller in the clubs where country music wasn't being played at the time. I think it was a huge impact on it. A little. The main shift, what you've gone to see why country has turned more pop is really boils down to one reason and one reason alone. And that's because country music was always jealous of pop record sales, period. And they wanted a younger demographic. Back when we had the collapse in 2008, one of the things that you saw, I give this example a lot when I do speaking engagements and things, is I will draw this comparison. That when the country is going through a difficult time financially, and especially during the crash of 2008, here's what you had. You had parents who saw their income either decline or go away, and they couldn't afford the things that they were paying for before, right? So you stumble into your Walmart or your Target, and there's the new George Strait album sitting next to the Taylor Swift album. Well, in 2003, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and all the before then, you pick up the George Strait record for yourself and you buy the Taylor Swift record for your daughter or your son, whoever your child is. When the economy collapsed, that same family walks into Target or Walmart. They strut back to the music department, and there's the new George Strait record sitting next to the Taylor Swift record, but mom and dad no longer have the money to buy both. And I'm a parent, and I have two girls, 15 and 11. And those of you that are watching that are parents, you know your first job as a parent is to always put your child before yourself. So in 2008, the country music world saw a shift in the paradigm in that people were no longer using their expendable income to buy both. They were buying and trying to keep their children from feeling the impact of the financial collapse and what that meant to individuals and different people with varying income levels. The problem is that it never went back. Even when the economy came back and more money came back in, mom and dad never went back to buying their music again. We started seeing an increase in iTunes card sales, gift card sales, things like that. And that's also when country took notice. And look, to say that they had not wanted this to happen for a long time would be to really be ignoring the facts. Country music industry, the divisions of the major labels at country music, they wanted this more than you will ever believe. They wanted pop music number sales. In order to do that, you have to skew to a younger demographic. Country forever was a 25-54 demographic at worst, and some would say it was 25 plus. Now, the country music demographic is 12 plus. And really, on its best day, is 10 to 24. With a very heavy emphasis on 12 to 19, 12 to 20. So, but the funny thing of it is that sales have not increased because when the bad part about going after a younger demographic is they don't have money. They don't have money to spend. They've got to get it from mom and dad. So as long as mom and dad will give it to them, then the kids got money to spend. But you sacrifice a lot in aiming for and shooting for a lower demographic, a younger demographic. That's what country's done. There's no turning around now. They're going to have to lay down and sleep in the bed they made, unfortunately. So that's why all of the country music that you hear sounds pop, because they are chasing. And the funny thing of it is they are chasing pop sales numbers from 30 years ago, whenever pop artists were selling 25 million and 30 million albums. One of the things that people don't realize is that 10 years ago, selling 1 million albums was considered a failure. Major labels could barely even break even when they sold 1 million records. If you sell 1 million records today, you can't drive down Music Row without seeing 3,700 banners and people throwing parties and doing backflips and having parades. Selling 1 million units 10 years ago was a failure. That's where we've gone with the music business. It's interesting. Going off subject for a second, it's pretty crazy to think I'm watching you live from Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, in the oil field that is located on the northern coast. Man, that is awesome. That is really cool. I have never made it to Alaska. I really would love to come up to Alaska. I think that would be a lot of fun. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Which also shows how much everything has changed. We are communicating via YouTube Live from everywhere and really anywhere. No, I mean, that's the truth. I mean, even now on your phone, you can go live from anywhere. It's so amazing where technology has come and where it's going to go. If you're looking for something that just does two things, one, really entertains you, and two, scares the absolute hell out of you, go watch the Joe Rogan podcast with Elon Musk. It will equally parts entertain you and scare you to death because technology, it is amazing what's going on with technology right now. It's great for business. Social media, I part of my company is we work with small businesses all over the world in growing their business and increasing sales and building their brands and doing things like that. And it's amazing how many of them I'm having to talk out of doing radio, print, and television ads because every decision, I was reading something the other day, every decision that a consumer makes, they make because of this device. They make because what they see on this device, and 9 times out of 10, do you know that they make the decision based on the first thing they see within the first 45 minutes of getting up and looking at their phone? That tends to accelerate their buying habit for the rest of the day. It's all about social media. It is all about this device right here. If you aren't reaching people here, you're not reaching people. Number one. Number two, you're irrelevant. For you music guys, I remember when you were trying to book shows back in the day, everything was based on chart position, chart number. Where are you on the Billboard chart? You know, and most of the time you had to be in the top 30 to even be considered as relevant or even get a booking. Today, that doesn't even really matter anymore. They want to know what your Instagram numbers are and what your Spotify numbers are, what your Facebook numbers are. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's that way for business as well. If you're thinking about doing business with a company, what's the first thing you do? You either Google them, you look up their Facebook page, you look them up on Instagram. And if they don't have a large following, then in your mind, they are automatically irrelevant. Tell me that's not true. And anybody that says they don't do that is you're lying to yourself and you're lying to me. Because I know the numbers. I know people's buying habits. I know how they use these things. I know where they spend most of their time. And I also know how to get in front of people. So any of you out there, I know some of you guys are watching, you're starting your podcast, you need to be just as concerned with this right here as you are with this right here and this right here and that camera. Because if you can't pull people in and you don't have an audience, it's not going to last very long. So I highly encourage you guys, do research on social media. You've got to learn the algorithms for all of the different social media. That's why I have people that do, because it absolutely baffles me when I start reading some of this research. It absolutely blows my mind. Like with Facebook, I see people complain all the time that, it's like, man, nobody sees any of my posts. Well, it's because organically they are delivering your post to 0.1 to 0.3% of the people who like or follow your page. That's why. So you've got an option. You've got to have more people in your funnel, more people, more likes, so that even at 0.1 to 0.3%, more people are seeing it. Or you can promote the post, and promoting the post, then they deliver it to 1 to 3%. The only way to get really high engagement on Facebook is to actually go through Facebook ads, Facebook ad manager. Don't ever promote a post. Go through Facebook. If you want to do that, go through Facebook ad manager and actually create an ad and then send it out. The people who like your page have a much higher rate of return of seeing what it is you're trying to put out there than if you promote a post or, God forbid, just put it on Facebook. Instagram right now, which is why I went all in on Instagram about 2 years ago, and that is Instagram is 3 to 6% organic right now. even though they are owned by Facebook. It's 3 to 6% organic. Little things, like Instagram will allow you to add up to 30 hashtags, but don't do more than 15. Everyone over 15 gives you a certain percentage towards a spam filter. So if you go any more over 15, Instagram sees your post as a little bit more spammy with every hashtag you use over 15. So if you ever wonder why you don't get likes or comments or things like that on your picture, it's because the algorithm hates you and you're doing it wrong. But in Twitter, I've never done. I've goddamn. I just started doing Twitter. I've had a Twitter account since, I think it said I logged in the other day, since 2013, but I don't use it. I just started using it because my people are on me. Like, how can we go out and tell people to do Twitter when you don't do Twitter? I'm like, oh, great, I'll start Twittering. And I hate it because you can't get it. Facebook and Twitter, you can't get on there without somebody saying something about Trump. Positive or negative, it doesn't matter, and I'm not even getting into politics. But it's just political. It's. I swear to God, Twitter is like legalized hate speech in one form or the other. And memes, which I don't understand. I'll throw that out there. I'll make it real clear I don't understand it. But I'm trying to get better with Twitter. I'm an Instagram guy. I've invested a lot in the platform. I like the platform. I know how to navigate it and make it financially viable to have a very strong presence on Instagram. The reason that I had to learn all of this is because, it's like, okay, everybody knows Keith Urban, but nobody reads, number one, we don't buy CDs anymore, so nobody reads the fact that, oh, you wrote this song or you produced this song. Nobody reads the liner notes anymore. So, I made a decision, 10 years ago that's like, okay, look, I cannot count on people to research and come find me because nobody looks for that stuff anymore. Nobody cares about it. So I had to make sure that I was the one putting out there. And look, I'm the first one, and I'll tell every single one of you, be selfish. If it's your career, if it's your business, be selfish. I put a tweet out the other day. They call it taking credit for a reason, because if you sit around and wait on somebody to give it, you'll be waiting all day and all week and all month and all year. We don't give credit anymore. We're too much of a self-centered society to actually give somebody else credit. So guys, take credit. Let people know if anybody that wants to say, oh, look, he's tooting his own horn. You're damn right I'm tooting my own horn because there's no orchestra tooting it for me. I've said it in a lot of my videos, especially my artist development stuff in the business of music. If it is to be, it's up to me. We used to live in this society with this way of thinking that it was always more valuable if somebody else said it. I don't know who started that line, but he was brilliant. Whoever started that saying was brilliant. Because it couldn't be, we're all sitting around waiting on somebody else to say something positive about us. And it doesn't happen. Very rarely. We just don't live in a society where I think it's attention span. I think it's everybody's got 16 side hustles. I think it's a combination of many, 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 many things, but we are scared to death to share the spotlight with anybody. And in the music business, it's 10 times worse than it is in anything else. And so I'm here to tell you, toot your freaking horn. Let everybody know about your accomplishments, because if you don't, nobody will ever know. That's what social media is. Social media is a look at me, this is what I've done. Is that selfish? Absolutely. But isn't that the society that we live in now? It is. All you're doing is using the platform of the day to acknowledge who you are and what you've done. And I see people here on YouTube all the time, well, it's just about being real. Well, sometimes people are just real and real good all the time. There's nothing wrong with that either. People are like, you don't ever put anything negative. I mean, I've put negative stuff out there before, but I also don't think anybody gives a shit. That's the funny thing. I don't think people care when it's good, and I don't think people care when it's bad. Matter of fact, I think more people care when it is bad than when it's good. Because how many of you out there watching think about it honestly and think there are more people that would love to show up to the party to you fail than show up to the party where you succeed? It's just a fact. It's just the world we live in. It's kind of sad. It is kind of sad, but I don't see it changing. I don't see it ever going back the other direction. Oh, SV's Iceland in the house. Wow, listening all the... We thought Alaska was far, and you're over there in Iceland. Samuel says holograms will take place soon, I believe. No, I mean, look, who was it? Didn't they do a holographic Tupac tour a couple years ago? I know they did one with Elvis, so they're putting one together. I know. Yeah, I mean, we're all going, at some point in the very near future, we're all going to communicate virtually. Which, judging by the number of people who have good communication skills, is probably better that we do communicate virtually. But you're exactly right. That's where it's going. And it's going there really, really, really quickly. It really is. And it's sad, but you've got to embrace it. That's the thing. We can sit around and we can talk about how it shouldn't be that way and it didn't used to be that way, and we hope that it's not going to be. We can do that. But we're all doing ourselves a significant disservice if we do that, because I'm telling you, that's where things are going. And it's about this device right here. If you're not here, you are not top of mind and you are irrelevant, and the numbers matter. The matters number significantly. Well, guys, I think that's going to about do it for this week's show. We've gone about an hour and a half, which for me, with a migraine headache and at this point right now, I could take needle nose pliers and yank my sinuses out through my nose. And it couldn't hurt any worse than it hurts right now. So I think we'll draw the evening to a close right here. Guys, if you're not following me on social media, you should be. It's at the Steve Freeman across all social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere. I can't thank you enough for being here with us tonight, and hope to see you again next Tuesday night when we are live for the Steve Freeman broadcast, or the Steve Freeman podcast. Guys, as always, keep being creative, keep pushing the boundaries, and there's nothing wrong with being independent. Guys, have a great week. I'll see you next time.